Right, let's have a look at doing this mechanism over here. I've got this slotted bar over there that E is going to travel back and forth along, and I've got this pin over here, G, and this slotted bar over here, which is going to travel up and down over that pin. Right, you can see that I've marked off E over there, and E is probably the most important point because it's going to be moving across here, and from there you're going to be able to take all your other measurements from it. Okay, let's just have a look at that idea. Well, I can say E at some point is going to move across to the center over here. I've taken this distance over here, EF. I know that EF is going to be placed somewhere over there. And if I've got that case, well, I can then mark that point. That is the lowest point that F is going to be able to get to on this drawing. I can then say, well, if I've got point F down there, I will have point E over here, and D is that distance away from E. So let's pop that up there, and I'll have my point E up over there. Right. I also know that at some stage, this bar is going to have traveled in a 30-degree angle in that direction. So I can take a line going off at 30 degrees going in that direction. Let's just draw that out. Line coming down there, 30 degrees, and it's continued in blue so that you can get that idea. I know that F is not going to, it's going to be completely symmetrical around that axis, so I could take a line coming across over there, and I'll have a point F on this side. I'll have a point E at that point over there, and if I take point D across over here, I'll be able to find point D very accurately on that side at that point. Right. I need to try and figure out how far away E will travel if point F moves right up to point G over there. There's my distance, FE. Okay, F is going to travel all the way to G. I'm going to mark off a new point E over there. And it's also going to travel the same distance on this side. So there is a new point E on that side. Okay, if I've got that, remember F was moving right the way up to G, so there's my point F. That's the furthest sort of up that this thing can move. And I can then draw in some construction lines coming from F, going through E over there, all the way up there. And I can measure this distance off over here. Point D to E would be over there, so I can label that as D over there. And I know that it'll be completely symmetrical on the other side, so if I take a line going from F through my new E over there, and I take a line coming straight across over here, I'll end up with that same distance, ED, on this side. There we go. And I can label that D over there. Right. I would like to have two other points, and I'm just going to use my 45-degree set square in order to get that. I'm going to take a line going out from G at 45 degrees that way, and a line going at 45 degrees from there. Note my point E would have met that point over there, so there we go. There is E, and another E over there. What is the distance from E to F? Well, that's that distance over there. I come over here, I place that down over there, and I label it F. And I can come along to this one, and I can place that down there and label that as F over there. And then I can say, well, I also have this distance DE. There is distance E going to D over there. There is my new point D over there, and a new point D over there. You could get that by just drawing a line going straight across over here. You'll see how that links up. So I've got that symmetry going from this side all the way through there, and I can then go dot, 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 just going through all of these points. Sorry, I've labeled that as an E. It's meant to be a D over there. Dot, 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 up to D at the top point over there. Just get that nice and correct. Dot, 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 dot. You can get your lines going nice and smoothly all the way down to that D over there. Looks more or less correct, so I can now draw a line going along those little dotted lines that I made, going through all of these points over here, up, over, coming down through there, continuing all the way to D over there. And then don't forget to do this down at the bottom. Same story, little dots going around there. Just get the shape of it, just using little dots. Very easily done. You can get a nice smooth looking curve going around here, just using little dots, 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 dots. Coming down there, coming around into that point over there, dot, dot, dot. And just get this all beautifully done over here. There we go, that looks correct. And I can now just follow those little dots that I made. Coming around here, coming up, that point over there, coming around, down to there, around, down to there, coming around, following my dots beautifully, and there we go. There is the shape that you want.